While Real Madrid will be challenging for a Champions League final and potential La Liga title too, Barcelona challenging potentially for a La Liga title, the most news to be discussed really is coming out of Atletico Madrid. There is so much going to happen this offseason, and the future of Atletico Madrid not necessarily in peril, but there could be a big moment of limbo. And why I say that is because Diego Simeone, is he staying, is he leaving? The reports are he's gone, he hasn't left, he's staying. It's as bad as reading the back pages in America. We have no idea. Griezmann, is he going to Manchester United? There's a new stadium coming along the way also. So I brought on Diego Lauren. Thank you again. You just saw him yesterday. He was on a clip with me because this is going up Tuesday in some form of Inception Matrix. Weird way we're going to figure this out. Discussing the Premier League, but I needed to do a second one because I have too many questions about Atletico Madrid. First off, Diego, how you doing?
Very good, Jason. Yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Had a good weekend. So what? It's a lot to unpack right there. Let's start with Simeone first. Should he stay? Do Atletico fans need him to stay? Is there somebody they can bring in? What do they do with Simeone?
Listen, I think if you're a Colchonero, if you're an Atletico fan, you want Diego Simeone to stay because, it's the best thing that's happened to the club since, I don't know, Agüero maybe. He's or maybe even better. I mean, he's instilled such faith and passion amongst the fans that, is hard to come by any manager that comes from outside. Obviously Diego Simeone has that pedigree, the Atletico pedigree. And it's authentic, when you see him running up and down the touch lines and screaming and waving his hands in the air, trying to animate the crowd. That's all authentic. And if I were an Atletico fan, I wouldn't want him to go. That said, I would also not be complacent, and I would want him to, demand more from his players. Losing to the city rivals, Real Madrid, successively, whether it is in the Champions League final or the semifinal. Yes, of course, it's good that you make that level of competition. However, there's a point in time where you have to say, okay, it's great that we're competing, but let's also start beating them. And that's a little bit where the discussion is at this moment in time amongst Atletico fans is, you have people saying, well, I'm proud of my team and maybe I can't ask more from them. And then there's the other half that are saying, well, that's a little bit of a small team mentality and we should want more. And hopefully Diego Simeone can bring that out of them. I don't think you'll find any Atletico supporter that would want him to leave though, Diego Simeone.
As you mentioned the authenticity of him on the touchline alone, it's real passion, you can tell. And it's funny because there's so many different types of character. I look at the managers across all of world football and there's a lot of characters. Simeone seems to be one of the best leading characters out of all of them. And as you're mentioning and kind of alluding to in a way, Atletico has tasted greatness, and it seems like they've gotten addicted to it because when they won La Liga, and that really is a remarkable feat because you have to play against arguably the two best clubs in the world playing in the same league alone. A lot of other leagues, from my perspective, have one outright powerhouse and then a bunch that are trying to catch them. The fact that you have to deal with two is never fun, and the fact that you won a La Liga title is what made a huge difference.
And let's not forget winning La Liga. They won that La Liga on the last day against Barcelona in the Camp Nou.
That's right,
which quite an achievement.
It really was, and then they get to the Champions League final, and they're close. And there's to me twice. And what's amazing about the most recent one, they did everything right.
Yeah.
To beat Real Madrid, everything, it was a masterful game plan, and it wasn't enough. And I can tell as a fan, that's got to be not just heartbreaking, just you can't heal from these type of things sometimes. But having said that, I'm going to skip over first to the new stadium because I didn't know about this, and I think this is an interesting perspective that you're be able to bring to TYT Sports. The Calderon is one of the staples of world football, and as the commentators had said right before we started this clip, it sounded like it was going to fall apart as the fans were stomping after Griezmann scored the penalty to go up 2-0 and maybe pull off a remarkable comeback to head to the final. It obviously wasn't enough. There's a new stadium, but it doesn't seem like everybody is thrilled about this.
No, most certainly not. In fact, the majority of the fans are really up in arms. Well, I should say the tension has calmed down now, but when it was announced and when, especially the name was announced, people were not happy about that. The whole, Wanda Metropolitano was something that, eyebrows were raised and they were saying, but how is that possible? Especially with the passing of Luis Aragonés, one of the iconic figures of Atletico Madrid that recently passed away, and Spanish football, I should say. They were hoping that it would be more maybe named after him. The same with Calderón, is obviously was a mythical figure in that club. So when the name Wanda Metropolitano was announced, people were up in arms, not happy about it. We're not looking forward for the move, and it's still getting used to. When I speak to Atletico fans, they are anything but amused or happy about moving away. But that's the world of sports these days. The fans don't make these decisions. They're done because of obviously financial, economical reasons, and just something you have to deal with and make it your new home. And the way that Atletico fans live, breathe, and embrace this game of football and their club, their team in particular. I have no doubt that Wanda Metropolitano will be just as big of un horno, as they say, like an oven, and a fearful place for any La Liga team or any European team to play, because they are just some of the best fans that I've ever seen in Europe or worldwide. They're up there with the Galatasaray fans and the crazy Celtic fans and things. So
you don't have to give Francis credit. It's okay. You can skip right over that.
I felt like I had to put it in there somewhere.
No, it's quite a scene. Especially that's the thing, is when you see some of these matches. I was just thinking, when you bring that up, I thought it was amazing. They gave Xavi at Barcelona this send-off, and you see the pictures, and it looks like the lengths of an Olympic opening ceremony. So I can't imagine what's going to happen with the last, if there hasn't been one, the last played game at the Calderón. I'm sure that's going to be one of the better scenes to see across world football. And then just alone when some of the players leave, it's truly great. And
they were already actually ripping out the seats in the last week against the Real Madrid. They were ripping out seats already, and they were saying, "Hey, wait, there's still a couple more games to play, and the Copa del Rey final has to be played there. So don't rip out all the seats."
We need those seats. Actually, they don't waste any time though, because they played the last game at White Hart Lane for Tottenham like yesterday, 2 days ago, and 20 minutes afterwards, they had bulldozers in there digging up the field. I was like, this is unbelievable. It's like there's nostalgia out the window. We are going to tear it down. You have to get used to seeing this site, which is just, again, from the business perspective, you're going, of course, you got to build a new stadium. For the fan perspective, you're like, that's my childhood that you're digging a bulldozer into.
Yeah, like literally you're walking out the stadium and they're starting up the bulldozers. That's got to be hard to watch.
So Diego, again, thank you so much for joining me on TYT Sports today. It's great talking to you. I'm again jealous that you're coming in from Barcelona. Are you Barcelona supporter? Over. Is that am I answering this correctly, or am I about to be? Is that the most offensive thing I could have ever said?
I am a culé through and through, Jason. Absolutely. I'm not even going to deny this. If people want to, check me out on my YouTube channel at DSpot, they will find that yes, I am a hardcore, passionate, sometimes illiterate and Barca supporter. I don't make any sense at times, but it comes from the heart. It flows out. So yeah.
It's great. Make sure to go over, we're going to leave all the description box below for both this video and the Premier League video if you saw it yesterday. For Diego's YouTube video on DSpot. It really is great. It's enjoyable content. Please go give it a subscribe, give it a like, give him a favorable comment. Unless you're a Real Madrid fan, then go hard on him. I'm not sure.
And you guys are welcome too. Join the discussion, because I have plenty of Madrid fans, and I love to catch heat from you guys. So more than welcome.
The YouTube comment section, the most objective sports fan place in the entire world. As a joke. All right, Diego, thanks so much for joining me again, man. And we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys. Thanks, Jason.